In this quick start tutorial, we'll be learning some basics for mixing in Pro Tools. Let's start by opening the Mix window, select Windows and Mix, or we can toggle with a Command or Control equal. If you've used a mixing board before, the setup of the Mix window is going to look familiar to you. You can resize the Mix window or drag and drop it where you need. At the bottom of the window is our comments area. This is a good place to enter some information, for example, about the take, the name of the instrument you use, the name of the singer, contact information, anything useful that you might want to refer to later on. I'm going to enter the names of the instruments I've used. Here are the color swatches for my track. They match what I see in the Edit window. Here are the volume faders for my tracks. This affects the output, not the input signal. Solo, mute buttons. If I press solo, I only hear this track, and if I press the M, I mute this track. This is my record enable button. Here's my pan slider. I drag it right or left to affect the spatial positioning of my track. On a stereo track, we would see two sliders. Up above are the input and output path selectors. We did take a look at these when we were setting up and recording our tracks. If you open the Mix window view selector, you can enable and disable your view of some of these features, depending on how much space you need. I've just enabled the view of some sends and some inserts. Insert slots are up near the top. These are for effects that you want to apply to an entire signal. They're called inserts because they interrupt the signal path. The leftover term from the days of analog mixing. Your entire signal gets routed here before it moves on to its next destination. Sends, on the other hand, copy a signal. This is a good place for effects that can blend both a processed and unprocessed sound. Let's try inserting an effect. Click on the arrows. Now select Plugin. Here are some of the default plugins that Pro Tools Empowered comes with. I'm going to select Reverb Mono here. Your versions of LE or HD may have many more options. The Reverb interface window opens. I make my selections from this window. I'm going to choose one of the presets. Let's choose Ambient. Go ahead and make any adjustments. And once you're finished, you can close this window to return to the Mix window. You will see your Reverb plugin located here on Insert A. Click the icon once to open up the control interface where you can make adjustments and close it again. These adjustments are now stored. If you'd like to bypass the plugin, just open it again and click Bypass. When you bypass something, it means your signal doesn't go there, so we're not going to hear the reverb. We do want to hear it. Let's close this. Let's have a listen to see what we think. Let's resize the window a bit to give us a better view of the Edit window. Position our playback start. And press spacebar or play to begin. I don't mind that. Press stop when you're done listening. Let's go back to our Mix window. If I do want to remove a plugin, simply click on the selector arrows and select No Insert. Let's say I want to use this reverb on more than one track. Generally, this is a good idea with reverb to give your tracks some consistency. Instead of instantiating the plugin multiple times, which taxes my computer's resources, I can send my tracks to a bus which has the reverb on it. Let's set up a send. We're going to send this track to bus 1. Pro Tools opens a send level meter. This allows us to choose how much signal we want to send to the bus. Let's set it to 0 dB, meaning my entire signal will go to this bus. Now let's close the send output window. Now we need to create a return so we can get the signal back. We're going to use an auxiliary insert track. We'll go back to our Edit window and we'll create an auxiliary insert track. select aux input. Leave the rest of the options at default and click Create. Here's our new aux input track. Let's give it a good name. We'll call it Reverb. We're going to send all of our tracks that need reverb to this track. Click OK. Now let's get back to our mix window. Let's have a look at our new track. We're going to select the audio input path. It's called Reverb, and down in the comments area I may want to note which tracks I plan to send here. Now, for our input, we need to set it to the bus path that we've assigned to the send on the source track. My input is going to be bus 1. That's where I sent my piano track. I'm going to leave the output path selector as is. I want to hear it out of my main outputs 1 and 2. Now let's insert a reverb plugin on our aux track. Pro Tools comes with a lot of built-in plugins. The ones you see here are available with M-Powered. There are many more available with LE and HD versions. Let's close once we've made our adjustments to Deverb. By the way, we'll be learning how to manipulate the interfaces for the major plugins later on in this course. Let's go have a listen. Press play when you're ready to begin. What we hear now is 2 signals. We hear a mix of the original unprocessed signal and the new track, processed with the reverb, blended together. We have 100% of both signals. Now, during the course of this lesson, I really should have hit Control-S many times, or File and Save. In case you haven't yet, make sure you save now. And this concludes our Quick Start tutorial on basic mixing.